Our group's theme was the 2016 presidential election. These are our parts.
In a car, the framework maintains balance, provides protection, and supports the other parts. The framework serves as a foundation upon which everything else is built on. When a vehicle is in a collision, the framework helps the vehicle bear the impact and maintain stability. Likewise, the Constitution supports each part of the government, making sure that power is equally distributed and everyone is getting representation. When we come to a disagreement or a collision in the case of a car, the Constitution makes sure that throughout we maintain stability and remember our values as a society. An example of this can be seen in the 2016 election. Clinton received the popular vote, but Trump was still able to win because of the Constitution's institution of the Electoral College, which overrides the popular vote. The Constitution allowed us to separate and balance power in this situation. In a car, the engine burns fuel to create heat energy. The heat energy builds up and creates pressure, which results in the conversion to mechanical energy. In turn, this mechanical energy is used as the main source of power driving the vehicle. Similarly, public opinion is the main source of energy for the movement we see in our government today. Going back to the 2016 election, public opinion was able to drive the election within the confines of the Constitution. According to Pew Research, in November of 2016, Clinton received 48% of the popular votes, while Trump only received 45%. Trump was able to pull through with a victory in the actual election as he received 304 of the 581 electoral votes. Despite the conflicting results, public opinion was still represented through the election, just within the boundaries of the Constitution.
When driving, we use our turn signals to inform nearby drivers that we are moving in different directions. Turn signals are used to prevent drivers around us from coming to sudden stops due to not having knowledge of when the person ahead of them is turning. Turn signals are necessary for roadways to be flowing smoothly and for everyone on the road to be informed of where every car is moving. When the U.S. government or individual states hold elections, they are the turn signals of our nation. Elections decide where our state or country is headed, but they always shift to a left or right standpoint. The left side is a liberal standpoint, and the right side is a conservative standpoint. When electing people to represent our state or country, we are voting usually on our perspective and if we believe that they stand for what us as citizens also stand for. For example, in the 2016 presidential election, our country as a nation came together and decided to put on our right turn signal. Donald Trump was elected as president because he had more electoral votes, thus taking a sharp right turn into the future. The transmission has a very important job of transferring the engine power to the rear wheels. This gives the car the ability to drive at the intended speed. When you vote and participate in the U.S. as citizens, it helps determine the speed in which our country is moving, and it helps run the transmission of our nation. As citizens, our votes are necessary to determine what happens and the decisions made in the country. Like the transmission, voting takes our opinion and assigns it to a political party, Democratic or Republican. When taking your political opinion and giving your vote to a representative with similar political views, you are contributing support to one of those two political parties and transferring your opinion to increase the chances of that politician representing our country. For example, in the 2016 election, most of the power was transferred to Donald Trump. Due to us citizens voting and participating in the 2016 election, we were able to transfer our opinions over to a representative of our choice and trust that our wishes for our country will be fulfilled by the winning politician.
In a vehicle, the driver is in control of what the vehicle does and where it goes. Likewise, voters are the drivers of the government. When someone votes on local, state, or federal government positions, they are appointing or choosing someone that they believe will steer the government in the right direction. For example, in the 2016 election, the power of the voters steering the government was shown off. There was a radical change in voter support from Democrats and the Obama administration in the 2012 election to Trump in the 2016 election. The passenger's job is to navigate for the driver and send them in the right direction, while also staying alert to their surroundings and pointing things out to the driver. The task is the same for the media. Today, they try to persuade voters on which way to lean and which party to vote for. They also report on the current political situation and give their opinions on what should change or be done differently. For example, during the 2016 election, different news channels favored different candidates and parties, with CNN being more aligned with Democrats and Hillary Clinton on the left, and Fox being more aligned with Republicans and Donald Trump on the right.
In a car, the fuel is what gets the car to start, run, and keep running. Similarly, money serves as the fuel in a presidential election, as money is what presidential candidates use to get a campaign started and to keep it going. Without money, candidates do not have the chance to compete with other candidates. If a car does not have any fuel, then it will not go anywhere, nor can a car function. The same is true for a presidential campaign, because if the candidate does not have any money, then their campaign will not do well because of the lack of media exposure and advertising. We see the value of money in the 2016 presidential campaign, when Clinton spent about $700 million in spending and won the Democratic nomination. Money is used in many ways to keep a campaign going. It funds advertising, paying workers, and numerous campaign visits. The gas pedal of a car is what controls the amount of gas being fed into the engine and controls how fast the car will go. Likewise, the interest groups influence the amount of votes and determines how well a campaign will do. Interest groups affect the whole population, so when a population sees an interest group that advocates for a certain candidate, this will influence voters to cast one's vote for someone. Clearly, if the driver does not push their foot on the gas pedal, the car will not go anywhere very fast. This is seen in interest groups because if they do not support a certain candidate, voters will not know which person will support their interests. For example, lawyers supported Hillary Clinton's campaign, which steered people who wanted to look out for lawyers to vote for her. This interest group pressed the gas pedal on her campaign, which won her the Democratic nomination.
The brakes of the car are represented by the states. This is because most states are set on one political party. For example, California and New York are fully Democratic, whereas Alabama and the Dakotas are heavily set on the Republican Party. In fact, 80% of the states in the United States heavily set themselves on one specific party. Therefore, the Electoral College of the states halts the popular/people vote. During an election, there are two votes that are accounted for: the popular vote, which is the people, and then the Electoral College. Each state gets a set amount of electoral votes, and the Electoral College is a body of people who represent a state in the presidential election and vote on who becomes the president and vice president. In the 2016 presidential election, California set the brakes off on Trump by having all 55 Electoral College votes going to Hillary Clinton. Political campaigns are what keep the car rolling in elections. Therefore, they are known as the tires. Tires on the car are essential for a car to move and for an election to go on. Political parties were created based on views and stances each party holds. In this day and age, Republicans and Democrats are the two well-known parties, with others such as independents, liberals, and much more. Their campaigns are what keep the election moving because without them, the people would not know how to shape their views on the candidates. During the 2016 election, Trump's campaign focused on populistic ideas and the low-numbered word phrases such as "Make America Great Again," "Build that wall," and lastly, he sought to deport all illegal immigrants. These three things kept his campaign moving on the ground as he rose to popularity in some eyes, and in other eyes he was the face of evil. Populism works best to run a campaign and has worked in the past, especially with the less educated voters.